So lit. What? This better be where I swear, but this better record. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to Love and Golf, a podcast about our twisted love affair with golf. I'm here with I'm going to call him a friend because we played golf together at a pro-am recently. And he's a pro, guys. Like when the pro could go sit with his team of players and everyone in his community, but he opted to sit with me and the other golfers. This guest, Sam Horsfield. Sam, welcome to Love and Golf, a podcast that is unlike any other podcast. We don't want to talk about your golf journey. We don't want to talk about your success in golf. I want to talk about what it means to you, man. Like as a professional golfer, as someone that eats, breathes, and lives this literally. Mm-hmm. This is your occupation. This is like this golf for you it's different. Like it's not, correct me if I'm wrong, brother. Like it's not necessarily just a hobby. Like this is your life. Yeah. So I'm excited to dive into this, dude, because this Love and Golf is about the I call it the muse, the connection to the muse, what it means to us in our life. And I don't know a lot of people that have your stance with it, that have your relationship to it. Yeah. So first of all, can you take us through like your background, how did you first find golf mm-hmm. and what does it mean to you?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. It was pretty crazy. My dad and I, we started playing golf the same day together. We moved over from England when I was like 4.5. We had a vacation house in Orlando, and we neither of us had ever played golf before. My dad, he used to race dirt bikes and street bikes in England, so he's a nut job. So then so we ended up going to one of the Disney parks one afternoon, and we came back early. And the house that we were staying at was on a golf course. And my dad was like, "Screw it, let's go play golf, see what it's all about." And I still actually have the scorecard up in my room to this day. I shot 167 when I was 4.5 years old. From the women's teach, which is pretty good actually, if you think about it.
Bro, that's the first time ever.
First time ever, yeah. And I remember I used to aim for the bunkers because I used to like being in the sand. So that was sort of how I got into the game. No one in my family had ever played golf before. It's, we never done it, never been around it or anything like that. Obviously, my dad being around the bikes, he had the sports background and stuff like that. But and then I got into the golf, and then I was pretty good at soccer, football, as well. So there came a time in my life where I sort of had to make a decision. I think I was like 12 or 13, which way I wanted to go. And obviously being in the States, soccer wasn't that big of a thing. So I went with the golf route, and here we are. I'm 26 and living life.
Bro, here we are, 26, living life. Sam, so for those who don't know, Sam is an incredible golfer. Obviously, you're on the LIV tour, like the LIV golf. Before we get into that and what your career means to you, I call it the infection point, bro. Like there's a point in time when you either hit that ball, that 160, whatever the score was.
167,
167 in that process or in that journey. When did you know, like, fuck? And by the way, sorry, I cuss a lot.
No, it's all good. Yeah, they'll be flying out of me too here in a minute.
like when was that infection point, dude? Like, when did you know, dude? Like, I fucking love this. Like, I love this.
I'll tell you exactly when it was. I was 11 years old. I was playing the U.S. Kids World Championship at Pinehurst. I shot 71 in the first round, so 1 under par. And then the next round I shot 63, 9 under. And then the next round I must have shot 4 under.
How old are you?
11.
Stop.
Yeah, 11. So I
oh my God.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Yeah. I see you.
Yeah. You froze there for a sec. So I was 10 under par through 2 rounds, and then the last round I went out and shot 4 under. Remind you, I'm 11 years old, right? And I remember there's this kid, his name was Joshua Martin. Had probably the best junior career ever, like killed everything, won everything, blah blah blah. And I remember him, he made about this 40 footer across the 18th green, and I three putted the last green to lose by one. And I remember that moment lit an absolute fire in my ass. I was like, I want to win. I like the competitiveness, like it just like I hated that losing and I just wanted to win. And that's where that
Bro,
can.
you're 11 years old. Like
I
11.
know.
You're
I
11.
know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I just remember like I just lit a fire in me, like something different, like I'm like, fuck, I just want to do this. I want to win. I just want to, compete. And obviously I was pretty good at it, so I just stuck with it and um yeah.
So on that note, was golf did golf come easy to you? Like I'm sitting here. I started playing golf when I was roughly the same
Yep.
age, 11, 10, 11. It was for me to get closer to my dad. It means a lot to me. I've told that story before, but like for you, dude, like I remember when I picked up the club, like when I started playing golf, it was not easy. So when 11 years old, you're under par already. Like, was it just like a God given talent? You think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I was blessed in the talent side, but like I used to have, like I would come home every day, get off the school bus and go straight to the golf course until dark. And, so I mean, I always had like an itch for it. I always, I wanted to do it.
Yeah,
But, there is, talent in there, obviously God-given talent. Um,
yeah, for
but
sure.
like I've been playing since I was five and I probably played until I was went to college. I probably played more rounds of golf than there was days in that time period. So
Why?
I was just playing a shit ton and like that was the thing that I did, like I go out, come home, um my dad would drive me around on the golf cart, he'd take his
Hmm.
cooler, he'd have his six beers in the back of the cart. Like that was just the thing that we did, like we lived on the golf course on hole number six. So
Yeah.
and then we go after we got done, we'd sit up at the clubhouse and my dad would have a few beers and we just hang out with people and stuff. So it was just like sort of a thing that I just did growing up, and like I said it earlier, I wasn't born into it. It was just sort of one of those things that just sort of happened and I got good at it and it was so good for our family, growing up because every single day I was out there with my dad, after school for 5, 6 hours a day. He would so many parents that you see, they're really hard on their kid. They're pushing them, they
Yeah.
do stupid shit. My dad was never ever like that. He was, he just sort of let me do it at my own pace, sort of thing. And,
Hmm.
if I was acting, like a dick, he would let me know that I was acting like a dick and needed to, respect the game and stuff. But, he never pushed me. And I think that's why you see a lot of people that I grew up with that, haven't quite made it on tour. And, you look back and, they got underlying issues and it comes from, their parents would be, yelling at them, hitting them, like the stuff that you just don't want as a
Hmm.
kid. So I
Yeah.
put, my dad was really, really big on that and, respecting the game and all that good stuff. So, um, yeah.
So, do you think on a personal level, do you think the game has helped you in your relationship with your father?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Speak on that, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, we're a pretty normal family, my parents are together, sister, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like if my dad didn't do that, and he didn't, sacrifice his afternoons and, everything from when I was, five until I was pretty much 17, 18, going to college,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, who knows what that relationship would have been like. We talk all the time, we never argue, like so many of these parents do. You see it still to this day on tour. You got
Yeah, for sure.
there's
Yeah.
people on tour that can't go anywhere without out their parents, and that's because their parents are watching over their every move, and if they do something wrong, they're gonna get a slap or something like that. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it definitely helped my relationship with my dad. He was a big part of, my golf growing up and we did all this stuff as a family and we go to golf tournaments on the weekend. My grandma would come and it would just be, good family time and I would just be playing golf in the middle.
So take us through the evolution of this now, because I know your background, and I know you're a Gator,
Yep.
right,
Yep.
Florida. So when do so I think, and this is just a personal question that I'm curious to know.
Uh-huh.
When did you know, like, this is more than a hobby? This is more than like, you're good at it. It could provide maybe a life. Like, it's before college,
Yeah.
right? So you're playing these junior tournaments. You're obviously incredibly skilled,
Hmm.
right? You set the record. I think, is it still the record for the Florida Am?
Yeah. Yeah. I won it by like 8 or something. I don't even something like some.
I think it's 11, bro. I think
Is
it's
it
11
11
shots.
shots? Yeah, there, something
I,
like that. Yeah.
we have to fact check this, but yeah. So you're so you obviously know you're skilled. This is a, whether it's a God given talent or whatnot. Side note: are you practicing your face off when you say you're going and you're eating and breathing and you're doing this?
Hmm.
What is that regimen like? I'm actually curious to know
It
that.
was, I get up every day, get on the school bus. I went to normal public school. Get on it.
Where give the school a shout out. Come on,
I went to
Sam.
Ridge Community High School.
Okay.
Yeah, in high school. And it was about the time, like freshman year, just before freshman year, that I was like, shit, like this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I
Yeah.
started getting letters and stuff from colleges. And there was actually a time when I didn't think I was gonna go to college. Honestly, I
Really?
was, I remember I won the New Year's Invitational. It's in Tampa, and I was like 16 or 17. No, I must have been younger, like 15 or 16. Um, and I moved up to number 6 in the world amateur ranking. And I was like still super young and blah blah blah. And then I was, talking to Terry, who you met last week. You know,
Absolute
legend,
legend.
legend. He caddies for Ian Poulter. He's caddied for him for 17 years. He's helped me along the way for many of the years that I've been playing golf. But this was a time where, you were sort of seeing a lot of guys having quick success coming out of college on
Hmm.
tour. Um,
Yeah.
so then there was some discussions about, go to college, um, go
Or go pro immediately.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided to go to college.
Why? Can you, like, what was the thought process there?
I
The
yeah,
experience?
yeah, I didn't think like I was mature enough as a person. I felt like my golf game was plenty good enough, but I didn't
Mhm.
feel like as a person I was ready to make that next step into the world yet. And
Yeah.
that was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Went to UF for 2 years, best 2 years of my life. I always say it. Um, like I don't think I would be the person I am today without UF and the lessons it's taught me. We would have workouts 3, 4 days a week at 5:30 in the morning, then we go straight to class, and it's just all
Mhm.
about that discipline and stuff like that, like the shit you need in the adult world.
Yeah.
So that was a huge part for me, going there, and it's only 2 hours away from where my parents were, so it was close enough that if I
Mhm.
wanted to come back home, then I could come back home and see my coach or whatever it may be. But I was still far enough to have my own space and have to do stuff on my own. Um,
But at this time, sorry
no,
to
you're
interrupt you.
good.
At this time, is the mindset still, Sam? Like, are you still focused on making golf a
Yeah,
career?
yeah,
Like, going into college, you knew that, like, I'm gonna go
yeah,
pro. This is gonna be
yeah.
me.
Like I went to college just to elevate myself as a person and just to
Hmm.
fine tune my game pretty much. Like I didn't, at no point was I ever going to get a degree. Like
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
school is just not my thing. Like I had a 2.8 GPA in college, like or in high school, sorry. Like it just wasn't my thing. I couldn't pay attention. Like I much rather be on the golf course learning shit like that than be in a classroom learning about a book.
Yeah.
So school just wasn't my thing, which is, it's whatever. Um, but yeah.
Interesting. So, question on that. By the way, I'm the king of tangents, dude. So, like, this conversation might just go
Hey,
out
all good,
everywhere,
all
and
good.
I'll reel it in somehow. But so you know what's funny? As an entrepreneur, as a creator myself, and someone who I've really never had a backup plan.
Yep.
You know, I've always like just either pivoted or adapted or just whatever. I've never had like, so for you growing up, you're skilled, you're a golfer, you're talented, you're getting recruited by, well, this is the younger
Yep.
years before you really made
Yep.
it. You're getting recruited, like people are telling you you're amazing. Was there ever like in the back of your mind a backup plan, or was it just, nope, this, I'm,
No, I like sitting here today, I can't tell you, I wouldn't have a damn clue what my backup would plan would have been. I don't really know what I would have done, honestly. Like golf got me to a really, really good school, top 10
mhm,
public college in the country, like. And
yeah,
the thing is like even today, right? Like if something happens and I can never ever touch a golf club again, I can always go back to UF and pick up my education where I left it off. Like so
yeah.
like now it's fine because I can go back to UF and get that education and do something. But
Mhm.
growing up, it was pretty ballsy of me. Growing up, like I just wanted to play golf. That's all that I cared about. That's all that I wanted to do. I had one focus, going to the golf course and shooting as low as I can and kicking the ass out of everyone else.
Uh,
Like that was it, So, um, yeah, no real backup plan, to be honest with you.
so take me through that now. So for the story before we get into where you're at now, like you're at UF, you're at college, you're doing it. Why did you decide to leave after 2 years?
Yep,
And when did you know like you had enough development as a human being? Because you said it was you college is a phenomenal foundation for our development as a person, as
for
a human,
sure,
right? Like
100%.
you learn responsibility, time management, a bunch of stuff. So when did you know? Like, when did you know, and why did you decide to leave?
So I decided to leave. I made the decision around Christmas time, my sophomore year, it would have been, right before we started the new season. And I was ranked number two in the world amateur as an amateur. So I had
Hmm.
some pretty good opportunities. I had six starts on the PGA Tour, sort of lined up. So I was
Yeah.
like, it's sort of now or never, sort of thing.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's sort of how I made that decision. I after my freshman year, I could have turned pro as well, but that is so I played Nike stuff my whole entire career. Whole entire career. I got my first set of clubs from Nike when I think I was 10. Um, and then I was like, I can't turn pro and use. Well, this was right as Nike got out the golf industry. They pulled the plug, right? So it was right in between my freshman and sophomore year.
Which, but that's a whole other topic of conversation, by the way. I don't know why they did that,
Yeah,
but like,
yeah,
go
a
ahead.
whole other, yeah. Anyways, so I'm like, I can't change 14 clubs. I was playing the Nike ball. I won the Western Am by the stroke play of the Western Am by 8 shots or something crazy. I lost in the finals. I just put this Nike ball in play. I was pretty sold on the whole Nike thing, and then all of a sudden, bam, no more Nike, no nothing. No nothing, no golf clubs, no nothing. I had no idea. No one in the golf industry had no idea. Bam, Nike, no more golf clubs from Nike. So now I'm like, well, shit.
So wait, they didn't tell you as an athlete. They didn't tell you that they're going out.
No,
It was just it was a
I
shock.
had no idea. I was still on the green at the Western Am, and everyone around the green was like, "What the fuck is going on? Nike's done out of the
Yeah,
golf industry, whatever." So then I remember having a conversation with Terry again about it, and I was like,
legend.
legend. I was like, I need to, I can't turn pro and be using clubs that I have no idea what are gonna do, and so I decided I played that whole entire, I played that whole entire year, my sophomore year, of literally changing clubs, just trying different shit,
Hmm.
just messing around, just trying to find some comfort in, because I'd look down at a Nike club and I just feel comfortable with it, like it just would feel right, and then I'd pick up another club and it just would look slightly different and or feel slightly different, So I remember one day I shot like 65 in qualifying, 64, something like that in qualifying. I was playing this set of Callaway clubs, 14 Callaway clubs, Callaway ball, everything. The next day, I come out with 14 TaylorMade clubs, TaylorMade ball. Like I was just on, it was just that time of life, when Nike got out of the golf industry, I was just on the search, as I'm sure so many other guys were, who had been playing Nike stuff. So that set me back, not set me back, but held me
Yeah.
back from turning pro after my freshman year. And then I struggled my sophomore year. Playing wise, I was always messing with shit, tinkering, doing stuff. Well,
But sorry, I got to interrupt you really
you're
quick. So
good.
dude, like you live a world, dude, where us normal folk, us recreational amateur golfers don't
Hmm.
know. Can you touch upon that? Because that's actually a pretty cool thing. The equipment changes. Like people don't know like that the feel, the actual like what goes into it. Like why is it so difficult?
Yeah, it's tough. And you get
Because ball flights, the windows you're hitting in,
yeah
like everything. Like
the first
what is
for
it?
me it's well I literally got a new driver 2 days ago, so I can literally talk you through how I've been testing that out and stuff like that. Um,
What did you get first of all? Because I literally played with you 2 weeks
yeah,
ago, and you were smashing the
yeah.
driver.
So I got the new ping driver, the 430.
Okay.
Very
Yep.
good driver, actually. So th
Shout out Ping,
yes, yes,
man.
for free too, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing that I do is I'll always sit it down and make sure that it looks good to my eye. If it doesn't look good to my eye, gone. Doesn't even get hit. Doesn't
Right.
even make it out my house to the golf course. So that's the
Okay.
first thing. So then after that,
Because that has to do with confidence, like setup, address, like how, like just it's all
all
mental.
mental, all mental. If you look down at a club and you think you're going to hit a good shot with it, you're probably going to hit a good shot with it. Like to the level we're at, where we can make, consistent, repetitive swings, you're probably going to hit a good shot if you sit over it with like, how the fuck am I going to fuck this up sort of thing, you know?
Hmm.
And then, I'll take it to the range and I'll make a few swings with it beforehand. There was an incident, not incident, but I was trying a driver in January time this year, and it looked good to my eye, looked really good. Um, and I was just having a few waggles with it, and I could just feel the toe of the club felt really light, and the face was just flaring open. So immediately, no go, no go. That's gonna go right. Does not compute with my brain. Does not compute. So
Yeah.
then,
Wow,
yeah,
dude.
so do that. Make sure it feels all right. Length, lie, all that stuff is, very similar.
Hmm.
And then the first thing I'll do is the first 5 shots, I'll just try to hit a dead straight shot, swing it normal. And then that way you can get the pattern on the golf club, what it's doing, right? Like if you're making normal swings
Yeah.
and say it's turning over 5 yards, like that driver has a slight draw bias for you. Or if it's going the other way, then it has a slight fade bias for you. And then you can work your shots off of that, that feeling of what it's doing when, you're making those normal swings. So that's sort of how, the club testing process goes for me. And then obviously, I'll take it out on the golf course and I'll play with it way before I even put it into competition play. I'll
Hmm.
play I play quite a lot of money games at home, so get the juices flowing a little bit with some money games with it, and um yeah, and then hopefully it performs well in tournaments.
Sam, I'm scared to ask this question, but what gets the juices flowing?
It's not, it does, this is actually a good question. It's not actually, it goes back to what I talked about earlier when I was, 11 years old standing on that green at Pinehurst when Josh Martin made that putt. It doesn't even
Yeah.
the money, it's the fact that I want to kick your ass. That gets the juices flowing.
Yeah.
I hate losing. I cannot stand it. I like 1v1. Like we play this game called Scotch. It's a two-man game, but like all the scores count, blah blah blah. So it's like a pretty intense game. Um,
Hmm.
you know, so we go out there and we just want to kick each other's ass. We got a pretty good group of guys that play down here. And we could
Where do you play at?
Alworth, Alworth.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
it could be a couple $100. It could be, whatever it may be. It's not really even, it's not about the money. It's about me wanting to kick your ass. That's what it's about. That's
Yeah.
what gets me going.
Yeah.
Like
The wanting to win.
that's
Yeah.
what gets me going. It could be, 100 grand, whatever. Like that's whatever. But if you're gonna shoot,
You've played for 100 grand. Stop.
yeah, we play for quite a bit of money here and there, but it's just like,
Here and
yeah,
there.
it's just like, it's just if someone shoots 70 and you shoot 71, you're gonna be pissed off for the rest of the day. Like you,
I get it.
I can't be letting that happen, can I? That's what gets me going.
So I respect
Yeah,
it as a fellow competitor. I don't play golf like you play golf, but it's okay. I can still vibe.
yeah,
So you touched upon this, and I'm curious to know, again, tangent king of the
hmm,
world. Um, the whole team aspect of
yeah,
live, right? I want to segue into that later, but I want to know, like, is there, like, from the competitive standpoint, what in your mindset when you're in it, are you are because, again, as a competitor golfer, you have been playing golf solo for minus Florida,
yeah.
right? But, like, what was it like transitioning to the team component? What kind of competitive juices get flaring there for you?
Yeah, it's different, that's for sure. You're doing it, you're playing for more than yourself now, right? Like, if you make a birdie, it's for more than yourself or vice versa,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
and it brings me back a lot to my college days, like there's a good group of guys on a team, we have a good laugh, sort of thing. But looking up at the leaderboard and if we're in second place with 3 holes to go, like that will to win for the team, for more than yourself. Like
Hmm.
you want to do
Hmm.
it. I want to do
Yeah.
it for Ian, for Henrik, and for Westy. Like I want to go out there and I want to, you know, do it for us, as a team. Um, so yeah, obviously it's different, but I think at the end of the day, you're still trying to be as good as you can, and like that's going to transition into good scores, right? And that's going to help out
Hmm.
the team.
Hmm.
That's going to be good for everyone involved. So, like getting those juices flowing when the team's playing well, and you want to do it for more than yourself. It's cool. And, like I said earlier, UF was the best 2 years of my life. I made my best friends from UF, like
Hmm.
that, so having that team around me has good vibes within me already. And then,
Hmm.
sort of doing it again with some really good dudes as well. Yeah, it's really good fun, and we have unbelievable camaraderie between us, which is nice as well.
Yeah. I've seen it, and by the way, I'm a Majestic supporter. I told
Yeah,
you, I that's my that's
we
my
gotta
that's my
we gotta get
allegiance.
you some merch.
Bro, I already got it. Funny enough, I went to the merch tent, and I got a live. We're going to talk about this in a sec, but the live experience is wow. Like, I, I don't even know how to explain
Yeah.
it, because a friend of mine was like, you got to go to understand, because I grew up, Sam. I grew up golfing with PJ Tour. I grew up traditional mindset with golf, and where golf is going with through the pandemic, and what Top Golf has done, and introducing the sport to so many more people. I didn't quite. I got to be honest, man. Like, I didn't quite get it. Like, I didn't the concept of live, the shotgun start, the team
Hmm.
atmosphere. But when you go, like, when you from a patron's fan standpoint, when you go, you quickly understand that it's really about it's fun, and it's
For
interesting.
sure. For
Like,
sure.
what
It's
for
different.
you, dude? Like, what was shot? Yeah, what was shotgun like for you? Like, you're like, we're gonna shotgun start.
Yeah. I'm a fan of shotgun start, me. It's people don't understand. Like I think last year at the Open, I think there was about a 3 to 3.5 shot difference between the waves, right? Like when you're
Hmm.
talking at such fine margins that, we're talking about, with the level that we're at where, one shot is the difference between playing the weekend and not playing the weekend. When you have,
Hmm.
it happens a lot where you get like big, margins like that between the morning wave and the afternoon wave, and it happens mostly at a major where you get shit weather in the morning or shit weather in the afternoon, whatever, blah blah blah. But it happens, like during the year, you'll get some draws that are good, some draws that are bad, blah blah blah. And I understand that's part of the game. I understand that, yes. But, just 48 of us, we're all out there at the exact same time, playing in the exact same conditions. We get the same wind gusts. We get the same everything. Like it's
Mm,
literally who can get the ball in the hole in the least amount of shots. And yes, I understand. That's the name of the game of golf. But when like for example, last year at the Open, I teed off early on the Saturday or on the Friday, and I played in pretty windy conditions in the afternoon. And then I get up Friday morning and it's like 50 degrees, raining, like shit weather, blah blah blah. And then I get done, turn on the TV, and in the afternoon it's 85 and sunny and not it's
perfect. Yeah.
perfect. So like, not having those things as a player, that's like it's nice. You know what I mean? Because literally you're going out there, there's no bullshit, no other shit, this is it, this is what you got
Mm,
to do. Go out there and play. So, I'm a
yeah.
fan of it, and we play really quick too. Like this pace of play is quick on live, and it's nice. It's good.
Yeah, I was telling a friend this from a fan standpoint to know like you go. It's like any other sporting event, right? Like basketball, baseball. There's time. Like I'm going to allocate this
Yep,
time to go to the event.
exactly.
It starts and it's the same kind of thing, right? So, um,
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into the story of your choice to go and how you got pursued and on that. But I definitely want to keep bridging it.
Yep.
So you leave college early. What was it like, man? Like a question that I want to ask you, and I would ask your fellow competitors and teammates, but like there are so many good golfers, bro. Like
Mhm.
so many good golfers in the world, right?
So many,
At your level, as you
so
said,
many.
that can hit the ball the way you hit the ball. What is that factor? What is that it factor in your opinion that separates your caliber of player from like just a really fucking good golfer?
Being able.
And sorry, and this is into the next segue, right?
Mhm.
When did you know you had it?
Yep.
Because I have friends, bro. I have friends that are plus fours,
Yep.
plus threes that tried that didn't have it,
Yep.
and they were like I almost they knew they never had it. They knew like I could never do
Yep.
it, but I had to try.
It's.
Like when did you know you had it?
I don't really think you. I don't know if you ever know you have it, right? Like I think you're all. I think that's what's great is because you're always trying to chase perfection in this. Like you're always trying to chase being better in this game, right? Like, I can think, I hit an 8 iron to 15 feet or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But for me, having it is, I have this conversation with a lot of people. I think being able to do what you practice under pressure, I
Hmm.
think that's what takes you a step up.
How do you practice that though, dude? Like how do you like?
You have to put yourself in those situations, right? Like you have to be standing on the range, like hitting at a target with you have to make shit up in your brain. You have to tell yourself there's 100,000 people watching you, or there's water left. I can't hit this left, or there's shit right, or like you have to like for me, like I was always growing up, I was always playing games with myself, right? Like imagining people around, and like I can't hit this left, like run the 72nd hole of a tournament, and
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
just trying to put yourself, because like that's when you want to do the best, right? Is when you're under pressure. And in this game you're under pressure a lot of the time, right? Like it's one of the only solo sports. You're out there, you got millions of eyes watching you, whatever, blah blah blah. Like you're out there by yourself, NFL, NBA, whatever, these team sports, like if you mess up a little bit, your teammate might have your back. If you hit a fucking
Hmm.
snap hook, that you hit a snap hook, like you ain't, no one's bailing your ass out, right? Like,
Right.
so like just putting myself in those situations growing up, like and going on the putting green and like okay, like I have this putt to win, and from like 15 feet or, just going around the green and like just putting myself in those situations to be able to, succeed when I'm in those pressure packed situations. It almost feels like you've been there a little bit, and this, I
Hmm.
actually think Terry told you the story about Ian on the putt. Yeah,
Hmm.
like it's just like things like that, like putting yourself in those situations, and when you get to them, you're not starstruck and you're not like, oh fuck, what do I do here, sort of thing.
I've rehearsed this. I've been here
Yeah,
before.
like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like everything moves a million miles an hour. You're out there, you gotta get a number, you gotta figure it all out, and you have 45 seconds
Hmm.
to do this. It just goes, sure, it just moves like a million miles an hour, right? So being able to tell your brain to slow that down, and that, you've been maybe not that exact situation, but similar situations like that before, right? Like, and I
Hmm.
talk about this, people ask me, do I feel nervous? And I say, I don't get nervous. I'm just aware of the situation that I'm in. Like,
It's almost like hyper excited.
yeah,
Like your awareness goes
yeah,
up.
like,
Yeah.
like you're like, okay, I'm playing good. I'm in a good position. Obviously, I'm swinging the club good. The golf ball's doing what I want it to do, right? Like, I'm in this zone. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what's going on, X, Y, and Z.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we've hit shots from every single yardage thousands of times pretty much, right? Like, so it's all about being able to hone that in at the right time. So, from just, practicing hard under the pressure and putting yourself in those situations, just so you don't get starstruck, and, playing with, I remember the first time I played with Rory, it was at Wentworth, and I birdied the first hole. I came out and birdied the first hole, and, like, could I feel it? Of course I could feel it. But, it is exactly what we just talked about. Like, I got up there, I was like, fuck, I'm leading Wentworth and I'm about to be playing with Rory. Let's get up and let's fucking go. Let's go. You know? And just digging deep into those and trying to get that confidence. I think that's it. Being able to, not panic in those situations, and being able to
Hmm.
almost grab the bull by its nuts and just go, and just run with it and go. Um, so I think that's a big it factor in golf.
Yeah. Uh, so interesting, interesting thought I had, dude. So we forget, man. Like we forget, we being the fan and the normal golfer, bro. Like when we watch you play, we don't realize like you're just a human being.
Yep.
We idolize you, Rory, Henrik, Ian, all the guys. Like we watch you play,
Yep.
man. We forget like there's just a human being there.
Hmm.
Like so. I want to humanize you for a sec, Sam, because I've had the pleasure of playing with
Hmm.
you, and watching you hit a golf ball is fucking insane, bro. Like it's just I don't understand how you make it sound the way it sounds, but what from a human standpoint, dude, when you take a second to retract, like pull yourself out of your life and your career
Hmm.
and what you do. Um, first of all, like who is Sam? Like you as an individual,
Who am I?
who are
I
you?
am. Uh, I'm literally just a 26-year-old guy who, um, he's very chilled. He doesn't, he doesn't like to get stressed about things. He likes to stay pretty mellow. Um, Loves family time, loves hanging out with, friends and family. And then golf gets in the way of that, you know. I
Yeah, yeah.
I don't view golf as a job. Obviously, it's my job, obviously, but not one day have I viewed it as, okay, I'm going to work now. It's me, I'm going to the golf course to get better, or I'm going to the golf course to do work on my putting today, or whatever it may be, right? Like, yeah. So that's who Sam is.
So when you're not golfing, when golf doesn't get in the way, what are you doing?
Uh,
Very curious to know
that's a
that
great question.
because golf takes up a lot of your
It,
time,
it's
dude. It's got to.
yeah, and the thing is it's not just the golf, right? Like, I have my workout program that I do around golf. I meet with, people around golf, so even when I'm not
Mhm.
on the golf course, I'm still doing things around golf. But when Sam has downtime, well, I have an F1 simulator that I just love to drive. Oh,
Stop
I
it.
love it. I love it. Big F1 fan. Um, and that's pretty much about it, really. I go on the boat a little bit, but like I said, just hang out. We got a good group of guys around here, and my sister
Mm.
lives with me, so we go on the boat and go out to dinner and just hang out quite a bit with friends and family. So yeah, it's good.
Family is obviously a big part of your
Yeah,
life. You opted to stay in Florida, right? Like you went to Florida, live in Florida. So
yeah, yeah.
um, what is how is it like your family life? Like does that what is that? How does it help you in your career, if at all?
Yeah, it really helps me. Again, going back to what we touched on earlier, um, you know, so many of these kids' parents will, hit them, fucking abuse them, do shit because they made a bogey or whatever, whatever it may be, right?
Oh,
Like it's crazy. Like
yeah.
some of this, like I remember I was probably 10, 11 years old, and we used to play this game every Wednesday with a couple really good players. They never ended up making it on tour, but there was this girl actually. Her name was Cindy, and she hit this shot. It was about 140 yards, and she one hopped it 2 yards over the green, like not the end of the world. And her dad took the club upside down grip end and fucking started hitting her across the back with it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just dude, it's crazy. Dude, it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So like
I'm
yeah,
speechless.
yeah.
Wow,
So like
that doesn't happen often.
obviously my parents have never ever been like that, and then if I shoot 75 one day, I'll get a text from my mom saying, are you all good, love? Like, how was your day? Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is important to me, like obviously my head's up my ass, I'm in a pissed off mood, of course. But to receive text like that, it's really special, and
Hmm.
it just puts things into a bigger picture, right? That
Hmm. Yeah.
there's more to life than just whacking a little golf ball around the golf course. So yeah.
Well, yeah, there is, and that's why it's interesting, Sam. You're the first. You're my first professional guest that I've talked
Hmm.
to. I whoa, my sound just freaked out. But I'm curious to know, dude, because again, going to the ethos of the podcast, this is about what golf means to
Hmm.
us. I almost can't ask you like how do you ask a professional golfer what golf means to you? Um,
Well, obviously, it means a lot to me. Like, I would not be anywhere near where I'm at in life today without golf, right? Like,
where are you at in life? Where do you think, dude? You're 26. I'm a little bit older than
yeah,
you, but like life has thrown me every fucking curveball, every goddamn
yeah,
challenge, twice
yeah.
over. So when you say when like where do you think where are you at in life?
Um,
I don't mean that in the bad. I don't mean that in a bad
no,
way.
no,
By the way,
no,
I'm like
no, no,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah, no, no, for
curious.
sure. Like I'm able to, you know, do things that make me happy. Like I don't have to worry about certain things, and golf it introduced me probably most importantly to my girlfriend. Golf
Hmm.
introduced me to her. She was my standing bearer at Wentworth. We've been together.
Stop
Yeah,
it! Stop
yeah,
it! This is for
yeah,
real.
yeah. We've been together for almost 2 years now. Um,
Standing bearer at
yeah, she was
Wentworth.
my standing bearer at Wentworth. Yeah. And she wasn't even supposed to be with our group. Someone got sick, and then all of a sudden she was with our group, and it just so happened to happen. So, I definitely would not know.
Wait,
I know.
bro. Sorry, you can't. No, you can't breeze over that one. We got to go back a second. So how does one? take me. How does one like? Did you ask her for her number? Like, how did that leave? Like, what did you
Yeah.
do? Like, how did you?
Yeah, so it was the first round of the 2021, I think it would have been 2021 Wentworth. Um, yeah, her name is Izzy. It's actually a really, really funny story to it. So at Wentworth, you walk off the putting green and you walk backwards to the first tee. And the stand-in bear, Alistair, great guy, great guy. He's been on tour for a long time. He's probably 70, 75, legend.
Love it.
So
Love
I'm
this.
walking back and I'm like, I see Izzy behind the tee and I'm like, Alistair obviously catches me looking at her. Like he obviously catches me checking her out.
So you kind of knew instantly, like, oh damn, hey Izzy, what up,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
What up,
Well,
bro?
I was like, not often do you get standard bears that are 20-year-old girls. They're normally fucking 60-year-old men. You're just like, ah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Just got caught off guard a little bit, Uh,
like, whoa, dude.
yeah,
Okay, well, we got to play golf. This is
I know.
yeah. We got to go to work.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I walk up to the tee and I shake Alistair's hand. I'm like, hey, Alistair, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And he looks at me and he goes, try to keep it down today, Sam.
That's so good. That's so
And
good. That's
then,
so good.
so whatever, blah, blah, blah. Izzy and I start talking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then fast forward to that December, she's coming out to Dubai for DP World, and it's the final round again. So I'm like, I walk up to Alistair. I'm like, hey, Alistair, you remember that time you told me to keep it down? Well, she's fucking stood right there. It's so
Oh my
good.
god, that's
Yeah,
great.
it's so
Oh
good.
god, it's so
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah. But yeah, it was funny. It was good. It was good. But if it wasn't for golf, I wouldn't have met, so many of my closest friends, my best friend Gordon. We played on the same college team together. We talk every single day. He
Mhm.
comes and hangs out with me when I'm home and I go see him, vice versa. Izzy, like my life would look so different if it wasn't for golf and I can't even really imagine it. So, yeah.
Do you love it, bro? Like is it again, bro? Sam, I can't put myself in your situation, nor can a lot of
Yeah.
people, dude. Like you're playing for the biggest purses, you're traveling the world. It's providing you a life that people dream of,
Yeah.
man. But do you, like the way I play golf, the way I look at golf, the way I approach the sport, right, is different than you do it. Okay, but okay, let's put that aside.
hmm
How we approach the sport is different, yes, but how we feel about the sport, dude, is probably the same. No.
Probably the same. Yeah. Yeah. Like you love the game. You want to go out there. You want to shoot as low as you can every single day. You get pissed off when you hit a bad shot, and it's the same thing, like it's a game that, so many people love for that exact reason. You come back the next day and you never hit a shot that you hit the day before. It's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
fantastic game. You never know what you're gonna get from it. One day you could literally look like Tiger from 2000, and then the next day you could look like you never swung a club from it before. And
Do you yeah, when you play that? Do you ever play for fun? Do you go on buddies' golf trips? Like is there any? I'm gonna just be quiet and answer that one.
no, well, I mean, I do. Like we'll go. I love playing golf, right? Like I love to play golf. I love to go in.
Still, even though it's your job,
Yeah,
like you get paid to play golf, you still love it.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go play the Grove in a few weeks. Like I'm gonna go do. Like I'm gonna go on these road trips and play. Because I love playing these golf courses. I love having the vibe around it. Like it doesn't have to be a $25 million purse to get me to show up. Like.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay $250 to go play a fucking sweet golf course, if I want to. That's the love of the game right there. I wanna play it, I wanna experience it, and like I was just saying, you don't get to the same thing ever any day, and
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
what brings so many people back. People can play completely shit for 17 holes, and then hit the best drive of their life on the 18th hole. Like, tell me another thing that you can possibly do that at. There's not. There's not.
I don't have
Yeah,
it yet.
no,
No,
so
yeah.
like that's what brings me back, that's what brings so many people back to the game of golf, and that goes back to why we love it. We want to perfect this thing that can't be perfected. Like the greatest person to ever do it, Tiger, his win percentage was 50%, like
Which is
which is
insane.
insane. Freaking like imagine telling Michael Jordan or any of these other athletes, the goats of their sports, that they're only winning at the highest peak of their career 50%. I mean, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, like that's what brings people back, like it's hard as shit, and you're never ever gonna get two of the same things with it. For us, we're trying to move a golf club at 120 miles an hour, a ball at 185 miles an hour, dealing with all different types of components. You got wind, you got altitude, you got God knows what else going on, and you're trying to hit it into a 20-yard wide fairway, and it's that challenge, is what brings people back, and it's fun. And then when you hit it dead out the middle, boom, and it goes, you're back.
Do you ever watch golf?
Occasionally, I'll watch it. I'll watch it if one of my friends is playing well. Yeah,
Okay.
if one of my friends is
Um,
playing well.
Two questions. One, did you by chance see the drive Rory hit? Was it 2 days ago? I think it was Friday. It was on the 18th. The 18th at the
I
match
saw a
play.
video of it. Yeah.
He he literally drove it 375 yards on a rope onto a green. I'm like, there's a reason you guys get paid to play this game, because that's something I will never fucking do
Hmm.
ever. Like it blows my mind. So that one. Two, when you like you grew up in Florida, but you have some UK roots. What is like the Masters to you? What is that? Does that tournament have like what is it? Do you watch it?
That's
I know you're not playing it
that's
this
the
year.
only
It sucks. I'm
that's the
sorry.
only tournament I'll watch. The Masters and the Ryder Cup.
For real.
Those two. Any other tournament I couldn't care less about. But if the Masters is on in the Ryder Cup, I will schedule my day around watching the Masters and the Ryder Cup. Any other tournament, don't care about. Don't care about it. But those two, I'm in.
Can I ask a difficult question? And by the way, if you don't want me to ask this, we can edit it
Yeah.
later, but I'm going to ask it
Uh-huh.
now on live. Um, how do you how do I even ask this fucking question? Like the Masters, as a fan, I look at it and it's so prestigious, and it's the tradition, and I love it. Like I love the week of it.
It's the
Like
holy grail of
for
our
you,
sport.
right? It truly
Yeah.
is. So right now, as is, when we record this on whatever the date, March
Yeah.
26th, currently there's no world ranking points for you guys on
Hmm.
Live, right? How does Sam? Because I would have to imagine, dude, you'd want to fucking go play in it. You'd be like, I got to go play in the
Yeah.
Masters.
Yeah.
So how do you get in right now?
Well, I'm not getting in this year. Um,
I saw
yeah,
that.
but I mean, look, I think all the live stuff will work itself out, right? Like there's too many high caliber names and people who, you can't be having DJ, Cam, all these guys, right, not be getting world ranking points. Like it just doesn't seem right. So there's going to be a solution to it, I think. Like I think they have to come to a solution where it's fair for everyone involved, right? Like because there's guys now who are playing in the WGC, for example, this week, the match play that sh probably shouldn't be there. I'm not saying they're not fantastic players and all, but they've only gone in because of certain things happening over, the last year or so, right? And then if you gotta like that, it's just not the best. It's not doing the best for the game of golf, right? Like you got to
Mm-hmm.
remember the bigger picture here is the game of golf. Like the game of golf is the game of golf, and the game of golf is not changing, right? Like the other little components within golf, PGA Tour, European Tour, Live, all these other things, like these are just little components within golf, right? And the majors have to overlook that. Like, the majors have to have the best fields and the best
Mm-hmm.
winner. Like you can't win the Masters and have, an asterisk next to your name, or say, because DJ wasn't there or Cam wasn't there, or, so I'm so glad that, the majors have seen the bigger picture with it, and, allow guys
Mhm.
to play. Um,
But how do you get there? Like that's got to be as a
yeah.
competitor, as someone who loves to win. Like you have to be thinking this year. By the way, if I were you, and I'm not you, it's okay. Don't worry. I would be like, fuck, dude. I'd be watching the match. Like, how do I get
Yeah,
here? Like, how do I get back
of
into
course,
this?
and I like, I mean, I played like three U.S. juniors against Scotty, like I know, like, it sucks seeing, like Scotty, like I'm really happy for him, of course, like, you know, but it sucks because I want to be doing that too, so, um,
Mhm.
yeah, I gotta play well in some world ranked events, which I will be playing in, it,
Which ones?
well, some European tour events. Obviously
Okay.
that all depends sort of on court case hearing and that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm planning on playing in some European tour events and getting some world ranking points that way. Um, but I think there will be a point here where it just sort of figures itself out a little bit. The sort of game of golf just sort of balances it out. And I
Hmm.
think so much of this shit too, like, has come from within the media to, like making up stuff about, you know, people doing things and, like blah, 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 blah. It's just like shit. Yeah.
So I had to fact check this because I was curious to know. So, do you know where you are currently today in the world ranking of golf?
No idea.
Do you want to know?
I'm probably like around 120.
141. Okay,
140.
like 141.
Yep.
So, bro, Sam, first of all, I got to rewind and say thank you again for taking the time because I
Absolutely.
know you're busy. I
No
know you've
worries.
got everything. I appreciate you doing this, man, and just giving the giving me and the listeners and everyone a real insight to just your life and what you go through. But I have been blessed to have played golf with you, to see you navigate a golf course, you and Terry shot map and go through your routines, bro. There's no fucking way
No,
you're not 141 in the
no.
world. Like, so so I have so many goddamn questions now. Excuse me, but like, how do you mentioned you played against Scotty, you played against DJ, you play against DJ in Live, you play against Cam. You mentioned these names when you're there's something called imposter syndrome that people have. I'm not saying you have it at all, dude, because you deserve to be there and
Mhm.
more. It's actually the opposite. I'm going to ask you the opposite. When you're next to these people that have accomplished amazing feats in this sport, are you just like what is your mindset? Like you're like I'm as good if not better than them. Is it a patience thing? Like what? Take me through
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's definitely a patience thing, and I think,
Getting it to click at the right
yeah,
time
yeah,
and
yeah, and I think, dude, it's so hard, right? Like, what it's like out there. Everyone is so fucking good. Like,
so
so
good.
good, right? Like, if you have an okay day one day, like the best you're gonna finish is like 20th. Like that's just how it is. Like, guys are so fucking good, and they're just not gonna have, a bad day. Where that's the thing about being competing at the highest level, right? It's not about, you got to say this is your best and this is your worst, right? It's not about making
Mm-hmm.
this best better. It's about making the
It's making the
what
worst.
it's
Yeah.
about doing this right with it instead of making
Mm-hmm.
it like
Mm-hmm.
this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do, like eliminate those, like couple over round, that just put you back, set you back, like if you look at the really goods of the game, right now, the John Roms, Rories, they don't shoot worse than level par. Their shit day is a level par. Like that's what they're doing, and I think if you look over history, guys just didn't give shots back to people. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to
Mm-hmm.
make people come and catch you versus giving them shots back. So for me, Terry and I have been, speaking about it quite a bit. Just eliminating the silly mistakes, making a bogey from like just off the green, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, just doing something like silly-ish, that like it's almost like you have a brain fart almost, like I did it last week in Tucson. I made a bogey from over the green and I was like 20 feet from the hole, but the only reason I made the bogey was because I was trying to make the birdie. I was trying to make birdie. I was trying to chip it in and make birdie, and like I got way too aggressive in my mind and I hit it 8 feet by and missed the comeback or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's just little things like that, it's just narrowing those margins, and bringing the bottom up.
What's fucked up, dude, is that the margins are so
Yeah.
thin. Like like it just the margin that you guys deal with is because like you said, everyone's so good.
Yeah.
It makes you really scratch your head and wonder, like the guys that go in and week out that just
Oh,
continues to continually
it's
do it.
so impressive. It's so impressive. Like
Who impresses you most, by the way? Just curious, from a golf standpoint.
as a golfer or
Yeah.
as
Oh, a good
as a
question. As
as a golfer or as like what they do in the game of golf.
both. That's a great question.
The most impressive person I've played with would have to be Rory. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's like, you
Yeah,
think my golf will makes another sound? Try his. Try his.
for
Yeah,
real.
it's like it's ridiculous. I remember I played with him at the Open a couple years ago, and we were both hitting 7-iron, back right pin, and he was up first, and he hit this 7-iron, and he hit it so high, and just like it just literally launched like this, and I didn't see it. I never saw it, and I said to my caddy, I was like, Mick, where the hell is that? And he's like, look down wherever there was something behind the green. And this thing just it hung up in the air for about 10 seconds and just went just like dead flat. Like, green's firm as shit. It just hit like that. And I
Yeah.
like just a sound and just like that shot, it'll never ever leave my mind. Um
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, that was really impressive. And then this is good. I think I think John Rahm, he is what he does, with like Rory's really impressive, right? Like you
Hmm.
know, he's just got it. He's like, he can hit it 360. He can, do anything he wants with a golf ball whenever he wants, whatever. But John Rahm, like he is I played a bit against him in college. And he's obviously always been a really, really good player, whatever. Well, taking nothing from him, but to be able to, he's done it in an age. Rory's a little bit older. He's done it more. There's been a bit more social media around, a bit more like like outside noise going on per se, versus where Rory
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
more. He could just do it.
Hmm.
Um, and Rom has his shot, his little fade that he hits, majority of the time, and he just gets the ball in the hole. He just knows how to get
Yeah.
that ball in the hole. Whereas if you'd say anything, you'd say that Rory doesn't get the ball in the hole well enough, whereas John Rahm gets the ball in the hole really well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, so what do you take away from that? Like how like just when you say get the ball in the
because
hole,
he's
bro,
he's a he's an absolute grinder. He doesn't want to lose anything. Like like
yeah.
you guys would be able to see it. I don't know how much you've seen of him on TV and not, but like he's quite a hothead. Like he
Hmm.
like he gets fiery quite a
The opposite of Sam Horsfield, by
yeah.
the way.
Like he gets after it. And that's just his thing. But he has his moments, he has his thing, and then he's able to bam snap right back into it and go back to what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it probably lights a fire in him, and he's like, okay, well, I just fucked that up, so now I got to go do a double as good job on the next shot, to make up for it, or whatever it may be.
Speaking of lighting, yeah. Speaking of lighting the fire, dude. So we're coming up on the hour. I want to make sure we touch the bases, and so I don't want. And I'll let you go. I know you got stuff to do, but you mentioned lighting a fire, bro. Like, what lights your fire? Like, what like there's been a lot of, and by the way, I'm not speaking facts, guys. This is I'm just speaking opinion and what I've heard. Right? I've heard like the live tour, like the live golf tour. People have said that like, oh, these guys get paid a lot of money now, guaranteed every week. That they're on salary basically.
Mhm.
Like they're not going to have to like. There's no more fire. Now I know you're a competitor. You want to win,
Mhm.
so there's fire there. But like day in and day out, Sam, like what motivates you to not only get better, but like what motivates you to fucking like want to grind and like fucking give it everything?
That's a great question. Um, I don't, I just do it, like I just wake up in the morning and I don't know. It's not that I want to, I don't want to, I'm not working towards, winning the Masters or, like I don't have I'm never like a target oriented set person, like I feel like that's a way to put pressure on yourself, especially in golf, Um, but for me, it's, I have the things in my mind that I want to improve on, and it really, really bothers me when I don't improve on those areas. So for me, for example, my short game is an area that I've wanted to improve on this year. So like I've been spending more time on the short game area. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's what, I personally want to get better at this because I feel like I'm not doing this good enough as what I can slash should be. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be like get better at this. I'm gonna go around the green. I'm gonna, you know, throw the ball in the rough and tap it down 3 times and make the line a little bit worse than what it was so that when I come to it and it's sat up, it's gonna be seem way easier, like little shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
um that internal fire of wanting to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and going out and, going to the gym and doing all this stuff. Obviously now with live and doing, you got guys around you, right, that, you want to do it for as well. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, this has been an individual sport for however long it's been a sport, and it will be an individual sport. Like that's just the
Yeah.
way it'll
Yeah.
be. We're on a team, yes, but we still go out there by ourselves to shoot as low as we can for our team. So, just trying to really get that better version of myself, and like I don't want to be mediocre at things. Like that just doesn't compute. Like that just doesn't. It's just
Yeah.
as like
Yeah.
why do I want to be on live 24 out of 48 on something. I want to be the best I can be out of it. And go out there and that's not going to happen by itself. So trying to be the
When
best version.
when yeah, I get it. It's almost like I don't know how to say this one either, but it's like no one shows up. Tiger would always say like I don't show up for second place. I'm going to try and
Yeah,
win. Obviously, you're trying to win every week. You're trying to do
yeah.
it. And this is might be a direct question, but like, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but you clearly believe that you are the best golfer when you show up. Like when you go out there, you think you can win every time.
Yeah, yeah, like
But for real, dude, like I'm asking you
yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
like when you look across the range and you see people like you said, Cam,
yeah,
DJ, major
yeah.
winners. What is your mindset like? I'm as good, if not better. I'm gonna go kick their fucking ass today, or is it like? And again, all due respect, it's like fuck, dude. Like I'm not them.
No, 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 no. It's I'm gonna go kick their ass. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you're gonna have like, a week where you're not quite feeling it, or something doesn't quite feel right. Like, of course, like that, it's golf at the end of the day, right? Like, shit's like that's gonna happen, But like 95% of the time, I'm like, all right, let's fucking go, boys. Let's go. And like I believe I can win. My teammates believe I can win. And let's go. Let's fucking roll and see what happens.
So Yeah, I love that. Let's talk about Live for a little bit, just so we could touch
Yep.
on it in the team aspect. How did you? How was that process getting recruited to be a part of that team?
Yep.
Um, what was that like? Was it a hard choice for you to make? Easy choice for you to make? Like take everyone listening through that process.
Yeah. It was.
Because by the way, Sam, that's something that no one's listening right now is probably ever going to live through. So, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
what an experience to be a part of something so revolutionary,
Yep.
and like yeah, take us through that whole process of that courting, getting courted, all that.
Yeah. It was interesting. I first um I first sort of heard about Live and sort of that it was going to happen, and it would have been January of last year. Um, I have the same manager as Poulter, so that's he was pretty set on going pretty early on, so I was getting the scoops and sort of stuff like that of what was going on. Yeah,
Insight, yeah.
I knew what was going on. Um, and then it actually all almost never happened. And it almost never happened after the Phil comments. Remember last year about saying how the things that he said about him. And then
When you say it almost didn't happen, you mean like what does that mean?
I yeah I
Like you didn't go?
yeah, I think a bunch of guys, even guys that are playing on the PGA Tour now that are very anti-live, that were supposed to be on live, and then yeah, there was yeah. Um,
You're not going to mention any names. I see. You guys. He's smiling. If you're not watching
yeah,
it, he's
yeah. I
smiling.
can't be throwing guys under the bus like that, but they know they
Okay,
they know
fair
who
enough.
they are. They know who they are.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, and then we went to the tournament in Saudi, the Saudi International after that. And I remember there was quite a few meetings that week, and that was sort of the week that everyone was like, okay, it's a go, it's going ahead. Um, and then, having the connection with Ian and, having a good friendship with him, blah, blah, blah. And I felt like the European tour wasn't really going anywhere. I felt like the strategic alliance with the PGA Tour was
Which is what
DP
the
World
DP
Tour.
World
Yeah,
Tour
yeah,
now,
DP
right? Yeah,
World
yeah,
Tour.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I felt like the strategic alliance with the PGA Tour was not the right decision that they made. There was another offer out there, and they decided to go with the PGA Tour,
Hmm.
um, which I did not think was a good idea, considering it was only about 6 years ago that the PGA Tour was putting their flagship event against the European Tour's flagship event, to completely fuck the European Tour. So I like that idea. I did not agree with that idea of them all of a sudden getting in bed together. And I just
Hmm.
felt like the European tour was in a bit of a, I describe it as a black hole. It's just like a bit, like I didn't want, I wanted to be on the PGA Tour. I wanted to get to the PGA Tour. That's where I wanted to play. I'd won 3 times. I had a few injury issues, and I just felt like I was going around in a bit of a circle on it. And with the COVID and all that BS, I just was like, that's enough of the European tour. And then the live stuff came about, and yeah, it just worked out well, and here we are.
And you love the choice you
I
made.
I love the choice I made. It was a great decision. I'm having a great time. 48 guys, 48 or 47 other players. Everyone's good friends, friends with each other. There's good
Yeah,
camaraderie.
yeah,
You saw it, how everyone sits around and talks to each other, and
yep.
you don't get that on either one of those tours that I was just talking about. It's more of, I have my best friend out there, Sean Crocker, and we would him and I would go to dinner every night, and that was it. Like that was the thing that we do.
Hmm.
We'd be in wherever the hell in the world we'd be, and that's just what we would do. And but now you go down in the hotel into to the players' room, and there's 25 guys there with their families and kids, and they're playing ping pong, and there's a pool table, and there's whatever there might
Yeah,
be, right? There's just a lot more camaraderie, and it makes things a lot more fun.
I love
Yeah.
that. Um, and this doesn't pertain to live in that choice, but do you like any regrets in your life, Sam? Like when you look at, and I'm gonna fluff your pillow for a sec, dude. When you look at you in your
Hmm.
life from my standpoint,
Yep.
you're 26, good looking dude, girlfriend, successful, incredible golfer, traveling the world, bro. Like when you look at your life, like it's like holy shit, like you got it,
Yeah.
you got it,
Yeah.
everything you want. Um, I'm sure it's not that case. I mean, like again, you can't judge a book by its cover, and I'm sure there's been struggles and hardship
No.
in your life. Any regrets you have, or anything you wished you could do differently?
No. No. I really don't have any regrets. And the things that I've fucked up on in life, I've learned from, and they made me the person I am today, and I would not be the person I am today without those fuck ups. So would I like to do things again? Yes. But, I think I'm in the position and the fortunate spot I am today because of a few fuck ups that I've had over life, and everyone, no one goes through life perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I wouldn't say I have any regrets in that aspect. No, no, I'm pretty happy with it all.
Yeah, dude. So to come full circle, I ask a couple questions that to wrap this
Hmm.
up to that is standard across every guest I have.
Perfect.
So for me, Mully is been my it's a dream. It's I don't even want to get in that rabbit hole, but it's I had the idea for it because it solved the problem. I was on eBay selling stuff, and I wanted a better solution. But as a kid, I grew up scouring the web. I love to shop, buy, sell, all the
Uh-huh.
stuff. As a professional golfer, dude, like you said, you just get stuff. You got your ping driver, just given to you.
Yep.
But it wasn't always that fucking way, dude.
No.
Like you were at one point a normal civilian human like
Yep.
me, and you had to go buy golf
Yep.
clubs. So what was that first golf club you bought, or that first golf club that like what was that first golf club that meant something to you?
Wow, that's a great question. That is a great question. I remember the first club I had, one of the first clubs I had it was just this fucking, oh my goodness. It was it was this thing from like it was this thing from a gas station. Like it was like okay,
Stop
no,
it.
I was like 5 years old. Like it was 5, 6 years old, and it was like it was it was like a gas station, like convenient shop, and the guy just
Uh-huh.
had like a few golf clubs, and he just so happened to have like this like knockoff. It was like literally a literal like Nike like knockoff thing, right? With like, oh my goodness, and my dad still has it actually, and it's yeah. So that was the first club that I remember my dad getting for me, and I love that thing. I love that thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
What about your favorite club? Like in junior golf, you have you like. I grew up in the days of I played the 975D
yeah.
driver Titleist, and I had what was that ping, the ping that looked like a fucking I can't I5 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Like what was yours growing? What was your like what was
Was
yours
like
like
my
in that
baby,
phase?
my baby.
Yeah.
I had this Nike Victory Red driver. It was yeah, it was like this limited edition thing. I must have been like 12 when it came out or something. And I
Hmm.
remember
Fuck, I feel old
I
now.
re I
Shit, dude.
remember this thing, and this thing was so good, so pure,
Yeah.
and that thing was money, and that was like my first like that was like my first proper club that I got from Nike too. Like I remember it had like it was like a I think it was a tour head with like a Mitsubishi like a super like fancy shaft in it, and I was like, yeah, this
Hmm.
club's sick. And then going back to what I was talking about earlier, looking down on it, and I had so much confidence in that thing, you know, and so yeah,
You should bring that back
yeah,
out.
Yeah.
Did you bring it? Just
Oh,
all of
I
a sudden just started
I
gaming
pick
it.
it up all the time. It's just sitting in my parents' garage. I pick it up when I go over there.
Favorite club in your bag right now?
Um, oh, question.
It's got to be the putter, dude. I saw you roll that thing. The
Yeah,
Scotty.
yeah.
It's got to be.
This, yeah, that thing's nice. I always have it. This is really strange. I always have a thing with my nine irons. My nine irons. That's like my cl
Mine's the
my
eight.
my,
Yeah,
my ni- I
yeah.
don't know why. Like my nine iron just looks really good to my eye and sits good. Um, so yeah.
For the record, people couldn't see this. I saw you hit a 9 iron, 190 yards downwind, and you hit a flag stick on a par
Yep.
three. It was yeah, no shit. You like the 9 iron, dude. That
Yeah.
was that to date is still one of the most incredible golf shots. So quick story, guys. Uh, Sam and I played in the Tucson Pro Am, the Live Pro Am, and we're on, I forget it was like hole 16, 15, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I
16,
don't remember what hole
16,
it was.
16. Yeah.
16,
192.
and you get on the tee. Yeah, 192. Get on the tee, and I think you started with the eight. And Terry, caddy legend, Terry, if you're listening, bro, I miss you. Um, Dave, what like that was probably the most fun I've ever had golfing, and it just I could talk about that forever. But so he's on the 16th tee, and you take the 8 iron and you fucking airmail the green, and I think Terry goes, "Whoops, my bad." Like Terry took full
Yep.
blame, like my bad, I misclubbed my dude, and goes, "Here, why don't we just?" And you guys drew up like you said, take the 9, started a little bit right. Let's get it up. Let's let it fall down left. You literally scripted the fucking shot. And I was so amazed by the actual preparation, like how I recorded it, I have it
Yeah.
on my phone. And he hits the fucking 9. You hit the 9 iron, and not only did it make an incredible sound, you drew it up perfectly, draw, and it hits the flag stick.
Yeah.
Literally, you
It
hit
hit
the
the it
fucking
hit the
flag stick.
bottom of the
So
flag, didn't it? Yeah.
oh my god, bro. So yeah, yeah. Keep that 9 iron
Yeah.
forever. Um,
But yeah.
wow, Sam. I've got more questions, but I promise you guys we're gonna wrap it up. It is an hour and 20 minutes, dude. Seemed like
Yeah,
two
I
minutes.
know. It's flown
Um,
by.
if if you could, I'm gonna. By the way, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say you're. I just have a feeling you're gonna win this year. So when you win, you have to remember the little guys,
For
us, and
sure.
say hi.
For sure. Will do.
Um, when you what so what when for this year for this you're looking down your schedule your path, what are you most looking forward to um coming up, like what's motivating, not motivating you to play well, but like what gets you excited?
Yeah, you know what? I'm really looking forward to um I'm just really looking forward to putting myself in the mix in tournaments. Like I feel like I haven't really been in the mix, like,
Hmm.
like a chance to win in a bit.
Hmm.
So, and I feel like my game's in a good spot that, hopefully, I have a few opportunities to win this year. And to get that mojo back in, get that, you know, those vibes going again, within you.
Hmm.
The to get the blood flowing and adrenaline going and shit like that.
What does that feel like, dude? Like what is that like when you're in the
Oh,
hunt and you're coming down, like
you feel like
it's you're high as
yeah,
shit.
you feel like you can run through a brick wall. Like literally that feeling,
Yeah.
like you just are like nothing can stop me. Like I just want to go, 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 go. Um,
And that's why you do what you do.
yeah,
Like I would say, like that feeling, that if you could bottle that and drink it, like that is
yeah,
potent.
yeah. And yeah, so many guys talk about that feeling, like just that feeling of being there. But until you act like experience it, it's like nothing you can experience, like and we got quite a few fun trips planned this year. We're going to Australia and Singapore here in a few weeks, so that'll be good fun. Looking forward to doing that.
Do you bring Izzy? Does Izzy
Yeah,
go?
she's coming over to that. So she's coming. She lives in England, so she's flying over here tomorrow.
Your girlfriend's in
Yeah,
England?
she lives in England.
You're doing long
Yeah,
distance?
yeah, she lives in England.
Oh, wow, you must really love this, man.
So she's flying over tomorrow, obviously for the Orlando event this next week. And
Okay.
then
Yep.
she's gonna be here for a few weeks, and then we're gonna go Australia, Singapore, and then she's gonna go back to England, and then I'm gonna come back here for the Tulsa event,
Hmm.
and then I think we play some Europe events. I don't know after that, but yeah, that's sort of the plan.
I love it
So
because you have like your roots. You have obviously you're British or
yeah.
that's where you were born. You have roots there, but do you identify with being American too? You mean you pretty much grew up here the
Yeah,
entire time,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, listen, I got an American accent. I've, grown up around American kids my whole life. But I do still feel English.
But the Majestics have that fucking
Yeah,
European vibe though. Do
yeah,
you guys?
yeah. Like I feel English. Like all my, it's actually really kind of weird. Everyone in my family has an English accent except me. And like
Hmm.
because when I moved over here, I started school straight away. Was around American kids growing up. Blah blah blah. But
Yep.
even my sister,
Yep.
who's younger than me, she has an English accent because she was around grandma and stuff like that. So I still do feel English, and all that. But, obviously growing up in the States and, I sound pretty American. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
so
I was shocked when I met you because I assumed you were gonna have like an
English
English accent. I
accent.
was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, no. I moved over here when I was 4.5 and was around American kids. So yeah,
So, last question, then we'll wrap it
yeah.
up, and I'll just thank you, dude. Actually, we're gonna wrap it up now. So I'm gonna thank you in advance. I'm gonna say, dude, getting to know you as the human being behind the golfer,
Hmm.
Sam, dude, I'm such a fan of
Thank you.
yours off the golf course. Um, Anything that I can do as a human to human to support you in your journey,
Hmm.
man, I'm all
I
about it.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Obviously, Majestic supporter. Yeah, yeah, dude. Don't no need to thank me, man. I think what you're doing, how you're doing it, your personality, dude. You're just a grade A human. So
Thank you.
thank you for that. I think again, spreading golf and like who you are, kids should look up to you and how and like you're just bro, I can't say like I tell the story of that pro am day, like how real you were, how much you were part of the group. We wanted to win as a group,
Did we not
and
win?
not many. Dude, we tied for first, but we lost in like some weird lottery. Like we won, we
We
won,
won.
we
We
won,
won for sure.
we won. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to get to where you are, man, forget the golf accolades because that list is long. You shot 59. You're you've won on tour. You're just an incredible golfer, but Sam the human, like who do you want to thank? This is the last question. Who do you want to thank to help you that's gotten here, your journey? I'm sure there's so many
Yeah.
people in the golf world, but like take the mic. At the last question is who do you want to give shout outs to that deserve a shout out?
Yeah. I think my parents, number one, first and foremost. My dad, especially, sacrificing the shit that he did, to allow me to be where I'm at today. Can't thank him enough. Same with my mom. Mom, same thing. Yeah, she was amazing. She came to every one of my tournaments, rode around in that golf cart. Made me get up every day, go to school. Get on that bus at 6:08 a.m. every single Monday to Friday. Um, and to stay humble and not to let what you're doing, let you get big headed sort of thing. So she did a really, hopefully, good job of that. Um, and then, Terry, we spoke about
Legend.
Terry's been around my life a lot, a bunch, and the guy who normally caddies for me, Mick, he had knee surgery. Yeah, he's been massive in my life as well. So those four people, and then obviously Faye, my sister, and grandma, on top of there. But I'd say those four have had a massive impact on, who I've become and how I've become that person and the way that I carry myself. And then I think the rest is just a bit of icing on the cake, on top of the cake sort of thing. So yeah.
Dude, I honestly could let this rip for another hour and a
Yeah.
half. It's been an hour and a half. I know you got to practice. You're playing
Yeah,
everything. Sam, I would love to do it again in the near
for sure.
future as like
For
an
sure. Yeah.
update for
Yeah,
everybody.
for
But
sure.
dude, again, I appreciate you,
No, I
bro.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Everything you do for golf and telling your stories. So let's keep in touch, man. And
Perfect.
we'll
Thanks,
definitely
my
talk
man. I
soon.
appreciate it. Have a
Thanks,
good
bud.
one. Bye.
You too.